We turn stats into stories. My name is Taylor. This is Hack&Co Company at RE/MAX River City, and we are talking about what an incredible July it's been. Statistically, this is going to be the best seller experience that you would have arguably since 2014 right now in the greater Edmonton area, and there is lots to talk about when it comes to what's been happening in real estate since COVID. We have it all here, and this is Hack&Co Company at RE/MAX River City, and we are the #1 rated and reviewed team on RankMyAgent.com, where you get verified reviews. I hope you guys are doing awesome. Check out this information here. Cheers.
Everybody is just always dying to ask, how is the market? They want to know what's hot and what's cold, and good news is we've got that for you. My name is Tony, and this is Hack&Co Company with RE/MAX River City, and what's hot right now is places in St. Albert and Sherwood Park, especially since they're trending towards a very active seller's market. Taylor's going to talk a little bit more about months of inventory overall, but what we can see in places like St. Albert is that 2.1 months of inventory, and Sherwood Park is actually 1.9. This is really interesting to know because as a buyer who's shopping online, did you know that many of the properties you might be looking at are actually pending or sold and just haven't been updated on the MLS yet? You got to get an expert that can actually dig in and actually contact these agents and find out, when they're pending till, can we actually even get in to view it, all of these things. And if you're thinking about bringing your property to market in a neighborhood like in Sherwood Park or in St. Albert, there's never been a better time. This is exactly what you would want as a seller. You want there to be, a lot of demand for the properties, and things have never been this hot in 2020. So make sure you get an expert on your side, get a market evaluation, and find out what the best strategy would be to either purchase or sell your property. And that's always a great time to upgrade in a market like this, especially with the way the interest rates have been. So this is our hot list. This is Hack&Co Company. Cheers. Everybody is just dying to know, how is the market? They want to know what's hot, they want to know what's cold, and luckily we've got that for you. My name is Tony, and this is Hack&Co Company at RE/MAX River City, and what I've got for you is the cold list. What's cold? Well, things are still trending very, very slow for tenant-occupied properties. You know what? I've seen some crazy restrictions in terms of showing cadence and what's allowed. Most tenant-occupied properties are requiring at least 24 hours notice, and some of them have been even more handcuffed, meaning that you can only see the property between maybe 1 or 2 hours during the day, or they're asking for a 15-minute showing interval. And sometimes this is just really hard to manage, and oftentimes we're being steered away. Tenants have, the ability to just say no to showings going forward. So we're seeing that this type of property, especially the low-rise condos, are moving very, very slow. Surprisingly, places in Sherwood Park, single family are moving quick, but the condos are moving so slow. And alternatively, what we're also seeing is very slow is adult living condos. They could either be the low-rise apartment style or the bungalows duplex style. They're typically 55 plus. There seems to be quite a bit of inventory out there, but not a whole lot is moving. If you want to know more about this, or you're thinking about maybe downsizing to one of those adult living places, make sure you check in and get the scoop on what's really going on, and we'd be happy to help. If you want to know what's hot and cold, check this out every month. Cheers.
Months of inventory. My name is Taylor. This is Hack&Co Company at RE/MAX River City, and what months of inventory is the measurement of the relationship of supply and demand, really. What this means is we would take all the listings in the market that were available last month and divide them by the number that actually sold last month and see how many months it would take us to run out all the houses. And that will show us roughly where we are in relation to when buyers have the power in a buyer's market and sellers have the power in a seller's market. Now, the balance point, well, that's like you are here right now. We're at about 3.5 months of inventory, and this is something that we haven't seen in quite some time. In fact, we've more likely seen 7 months of inventory over the last few years, really. And seeing this trend come closer to balance is something that's kind of exciting, because over the last few years, if a buyer and a seller came into a negotiation, let's say that buyer tried to buy that seller's house, and let's say they didn't come to an agreement, well, how do each of them feel? I'm sure that buyer is going to be super confident that they'll be able to find another house because there was 7 months of inventory. Whereas a seller may not be as confident that they would find another buyer. That's why they call it a buyer's market. Whereas now we're at balance. So if that same thing happens, they don't come to an agreement, the buyer's like, I'll go find another house. And the seller's like, man, I'll find another buyer. And we're actually trending in a way that would show it to the point where the seller would be like, listen, I got other options. You better bring me a better offer. And that is something that we haven't seen in a local Edmonton area real estate in a long time. We're seeing multiple offers because of that. The 3-month trend looks great. Year over year, we are looking awesome when it comes to what makes markets rise. And this is a rally point coming out of COVID. So what we've seen is that there was less houses that wanted to come to the market based on concern. There was a few people that couldn't bring their houses to the market based on financial concern. And now there are some people that are engaging, but not as many listings are out there. Whereas later this year, what we think is that there's going to be more listings due to COVID than less listings due to COVID. And that's because the financial effect is going to take place once some of the things like the mortgage help runs out. So if you're a buyer in the marketplace right now, there's a couple of things that are going to help you out. First off, know the lay of the land. So talk to your agent, talk to them about what things have actually been selling for in your desired neighborhoods, because it could be that they're very close to list price right now, and it might be that you never considered that because it hasn't been the case in quite some time. And also make sure that you have a great search set up so you can be there on day 0. When properties go into multiple offers, it's normally in their first 48 hours on the market, and you got to be there to be involved if you want to win. Now, for sellers, I would say, first off, make sure that you understand what the competition is out there. There's more and more metrics that we have now to talk about what's happening in the market as it happens, including the fact that pending is now a default in reporting onto our MLS service, where it wasn't previously. So really, as soon as somebody submits an offer that is accepted, that's something that would result in many of the properties showing now as being pending, which shows us exactly what's taking place this week. Because sometimes you're dropping into a pocket where all your competition is gone and you may not even know it. And that's the type of stuff that could drive multiple offers and could be a great thing. It could lead to different expectations. So just measure well. And then the second piece of advice I have for sellers is get to the market now. I was in mortgages actually in 2008 after the 2007 financial crash. And I was in real estate in 2015 after the fall of oil. And right now we're in this kind of point right after COVID is taking an effect. All the measurements that we can see show that there's going to be a significant economic effect. And due to that, I'm going to suggest that you get your property to the market sooner than later. For those people that are kind of thinking maybe they should wait till spring, if you had that mentality in 2008, well, if you wanted to wait until your house was worth more, you would have had to actually wait until like 2012. And if you're doing the same thing right after a major event that was seen mostly as being negative in 2015, and you were saying, hey, I'm going to wait until my house is worth more, you'd still be waiting. So that doesn't mean that you shouldn't participate. As long as you are moving in the right direction, which is buying more, it's actually good to buy more in a down market, whether it's stocks or real estate. So those families that are looking to upgrade, this market's for you. My name is Taylor. This is HACK&Co at RE/MAX River City, and I hope you're doing awesome. Cheers.
How long does it take to sell property in today's market? I'm Kim Christensen with HACK&Co at RE/MAX River City. Average days on market start on day 0 and move all the way through until the property is sold or no longer available on the market. We measure days on market week after week and month after month. July of this year, the average days on market for all residential property in Edmonton was 54 days. June of this year, the average days on market for all residential property in Edmonton was 59 days. Last year, in July of 2019, the average days on market for all residential property in Edmonton was 62 days. If you're a seller wanting and thinking about bringing your property to the market, now is a great time. We are seeing the days on market month after month decrease. I know when I'm out with my buyers booking viewings, half of them are already pending. If you're a buyer, Wanting to purchase a home? Connect with your realtor so we can get you set up so you don't miss out on the one. Thank you. Take care.
What I'm talking about now is sales to new listing ratio. My name is Taylor. This is HACK&Co at RE/MAX River City, and sales to new listing ratio shows the relationship between new listings that are arriving to the market and the properties that are actually selling, to kind of draw a contrast against some of the properties that are unable to find a buyer. So what we're seeing right now is almost 7 out of 10, almost 7 buyers for 10 sellers when you take a look at that that relation of inventory on the marketplace. And this is showing a 3-month trend on the lift, which obviously it has to be coming out of a point where the government tells everybody to stay home unless it's an emergency. So we're really seeing a rally point as we head through the spring. We're expecting it to continue into the summer. And basically, if you have a single family dwelling or if you have a duplex, the likelihood that you're going to have a great experience as a seller is massively improved. But unfortunately, condos are not sharing the same fate. So really, there's going to be pockets of things that look awesome. There's going to be pockets of things that look awful, but it depends on where you're standing and how long you stand there. Like, for example, we see buyers hitting the market right now. They're like, oh man, I got to buy something. Looks like everything's pending. What are we going to do? And our advice to buyers is just hang tight. We're just going through the statistical likelihood, or the statistical high point for families on vacation. We're going to see lots of inventory listed over the next 30 days, and it's going to get exciting in that point. If you are not rushed, if you do not need to secure an address in the next week or two, that would be my advice there. And if you are engaging property, make sure that you're price checking it. Like, the hardest question in real estate is, if I like it and I can afford it, how much should I pay? And if there is not somebody beside you being like, listen, this is what other people have paid for similar things and so on, that could be something that would really help you out. And also, be there first. Things are going really fast. If you want to be there on day 0, make sure that you get a search set up on the Pro Tools with an agent, and that will help you out. And then my advice for sellers is know a lot about what's going on. We got new information now. Pending properties are something that's big on MLS. Up until now, it wasn't required for properties to go pending. It wasn't the default for properties to go pending. And now it has become the default, but it's still not required. But I have to say, in doing listing updates for all of our listed clients, we find this information is interesting. It's nice to know what's catching offers around and getting a little bit more real time than waiting for the 10 days for conditions to be removed in most cases. And that's really helping us help our clients sharpen themselves to this moving market and get on to where they want to go on. My name is Taylor. This is HACK&Co at RE/MAX River City. This is a little bit about sales to new listing ratio, and we can answer all your questions here if you reach out to us. I hope you're doing awesome. Cheers.
It's good practice to measure the average sale price when purchasing home. I'm Kim Christensen with HACK&Co at RE/MAX River City. The average sale price for all residential property in July of this year was $369,805. June of this year, the average sale price for all residential property in Edmonton was $360,171. Last year, in July of 2019, the average sale price for all residential property in Edmonton was $367,300. Over the last couple months, we're seeing days on market decrease. If you're a seller and you have a home under the 400,000s, now is the time to bring it to the market. We are seeing these properties sell and sell fast. And also, we have had multiple offer situations quite a lot. I know for myself, going out with my buyers, booking viewings, half of them are already pending. If you're a buyer wanting to purchase a home, connect with your realtor so we can get you all set up and so you don't miss out on the one. Thank you. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to know a little bit more about what's going on in your neighborhood, please contact us. We'll add some information to your situation to help you make an informed decision on whether or not you want to partake as a buyer or seller. Just interesting to see these trends with days on market reducing, likelihood to sell increasing. These are all signs of a great experience in real estate overall, and stuff that we haven't seen since 2014. And that's something that's interesting. Our eyes right now are on the fall market because we do believe that this is going to be a short-term rally point. We may see more inventory come to the market late this year, so we're just excited for all the families that are making the jump right now, getting to those school zones that they need to get to before school's back in session. All you need is a purchase agreement to actually, in that case, once you have an accepted purchase agreement with the conditions removed, then you are pretty much contractually guaranteed that address, and that's something you could submit to the school board of your choice. We're available here for more information. My name is Taylor. This is Hack & Company at RE/MAX River City, and if you like information like this, please remember to subscribe. We are number one. We are the people's real estate team in Greater Edmonton because we are number one rated and reviewed on rankmyagent.com, which is where you get verified reviews from people who have actually had experiences attached to a property that's appeared on MLS for sure. So please tune in as we bring you more information and reach out if there's anything that you need. I hope you're doing awesome. Cheers.